Yo,
what's happening?
Welcome.
We're not banned. We're not banned. We're back. We're back.
Cut us off. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Welcome to another Dean and Skree episode. Tonight we are talking about Collector Con Penrith, a recap of the New South Wales Toy and Hobby Convention that just started up for 2025 in our area. So, yeah, pretty pumped. How you going, Skree?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I was super excited to do the Collector Con a few weekends ago, and we're almost up to the Newcastle one, which I'm even more excited about. So, but I'm pretty excited to share some cool pickups tonight, though, and chat to some pretty cool people about their pickups as well. So that's really
we've got a few legends in the community all across the scene. Plenty of different tastes in collections as well. So let's not wait. Let's bring people in. We all know our favorite Toy Box Collectible 2.0. Tubbsy's here again, joining us. How are you, mate?
I'm wonderful, thank you, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, lady. Good. Going to bring in a couple of first timers to the Dean and Skree show now with Shaneco. How are you, mate?
Hey guys, good
Hey,
thanks.
Shaneco.
And Adam Collects come in. How you going, buddy? Welcome.
Howdy, gentlemen. How are we all?
And most people know this fella right here, Scotty Crusher's here. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Excited to make my Dean and Skree show debut. I think at least. I don't think I've been on the show before, but mate, always good to chop it up. Thanks for having me.
We might have to get like participation certificates or something that you can have after the
like a sew-on patch that you put on.
Yeah.
And once you get so many, it's one color and another one,
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Good bunch of collectors who all just hit up Penrith Collector Con. Like I said, the first convention in New South Wales in Australia. So Collector Con, Toy and Hobby. It's nearly every month now, guys. Like it comes up so quick. Gives us a little break over Christmas, and then in March, kicks in. Now someone's baby's awake.
Fine.
Say hi. But before we go around the room and just say hi, we'll just say hi to a few people that are popped into the chat. And I know Matt and Andrew are here.
Matt and Andrew.
Always supporting.
Collecting gentlemen, how are we?
Andrew, there'll be plenty of toys to he'll enjoy that. Jewel who?
Hey, Jewel.
Jewel, always a big supporter of anything I do or anything Dean and Skree does. This fella.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, one of the other Toy Box
Trying to
collectibles.
work out who that is. That's a Richmond jumper. I grew up in Victoria, so I was indoctrinated into knowing team colours. I don't follow AFL, but I know the teams.
There he goes.
Obligated to learn that stuff.
That's a beautiful custom Chewy, that one. It's lovely.
That is. And Ian's on the wine, so we should get some good commentary tonight from him.
Yeah.
Did Ian notice that you said your favourite Toy Box Collectables admin?
Oh. I didn't say
I hope you heard that one.
I picked up on that as well.
Just take
Ian's in the chat, and Dino's dropping that one.
Look, it won't be long and I'll pay him back, I swear. Kiri's here. Hello, Kiri. How you going?
Hey, Gary.
And we've got Wolf Gaming. How are you? And
Wolf.
Are we doing a vlog of it? A vlog of the actual convention? Yeah, there will be a video coming out on this channel, not on the Dean and Skree, on my own Totally Taylor channel, of the convention, probably a couple of weeks.
You guys have both diversified your channels. You've gone, having the 2.0. Is that about? So this is sort of number 2 channel for both you, Dean and Skree, correct? You both got your individual channels, and then this one as well.
No, the Toy Box Collectables is Tubbsy, Ian, and Rob
and Rod
Damo. Thank you. Yep. So yeah, Skree and I got our own channels, but we also do.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. You guys have got your own separates, and then this one's come through as you sell your respective second channel combined. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Just a place for us to have live streams. talk about all different things and just get into stuff with different people, different collectors, as we have right here. Nate's here. Hello, Nate.
Yo, Nate.
Hey, Nate.
Nate, what's going on?
I actually wanted to message you, Nate, find out if you're going to the Newcastle Collector Con, right? I was curious. But boys, how you been? I'll start with Tubbsy. You're up in the corner, mate. How you been, mate? How are things?
Been really good, mate. Had a good time at Collector Con. Been busy at work. Looking forward to the. I've got the week off in between Easter and Anzac Day, so
Nice.
I'm looking forward to having a couple of days off.
Yeah, sweet. And as I said, we've all gone to Collector Con in March. That's why we're here, talking about our experience and that. But what gets you? And I will ask the rest of you guys this: what gets you to Collector Con? What are the lines, the toy lines, and that you're looking for when you're hunting around?
I mainly only really collect two. It's Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
Nice.
I do collect a bit of Mad Max stuff as well. There's not a great deal of it getting around, and it's a bit hard to find at times. But yeah, when they have all the various different conventions once a year, they bring out different patches, they bring out different badges and all that sort of stuff. So I collect all of that, and some of the cards as well. But this Collector Con was the first one in about 4 years that I haven't had a stand. So Ian and I normally have a stand there for Toy Box Collectables 2.0. But this time, because of circumstances, family circumstances and stuff, so Ian was down in Melbourne, and I was supposed to be in Queensland visiting my daughter, but that was postponed until the break in between Easter and Anzac Day. So it's the first time, that I've actually had a look around in 4 years. It was different. It was good. It was it was packed. It was being able to walk around. It really showed how many people were there. I mean, normally we're busy. We're flat out all day selling stuff, but having a walk around, it was just amazing to see just how many people actually get there on that day.
Yeah, man. Being the first one of the year as well, like the crowds just came. And what do you rate? Do you rate walking around buying stuff or making a whole bunch of money behind the desk?
Well, I don't tend to make a lot of money with it. It's just moving on stuff so I can invest it in other bits and pieces. So I'm moving stuff that I don't want anymore. I do enjoy the money, but having a look around was good. I really enjoyed it, especially for such a big break of me doing it. I mean, there's been other cons that I'll go around and have a look around at, but yeah, I really enjoyed getting around it. Personally, I like the selling of it because you get a lot more people come up to you, have a chat, introduce themselves. I mean, when you're walking around, you're focused on what you're looking for, and I tend to sort of miss a few people. And even on that Sunday, wasn't until I walked past people and I heard voices, I was like, "Oh, g'day, mate, how you going?" And yeah, it was. I'd bumped into you guys, Scott, Dean, Skree. First time I'd actually met Skree in person, so it was good to just bump into you guys. But I do like that, standing behind the table and having really good conversations with people coming up to you.
Yeah, nice. Matt's saying that he loves Shaneco's Back to the Future hoverboard board there.
I did see that. Sick.
So how are you going, Shane? How was your convention experience, and what were the sort of the toy lines and items that you were hunting for?
Well, I'm good. First of all, this Penrith was pretty crazy for me. Well, not too crazy, normal crazy. So every Collector Con is pretty crazy for me just because it's a huge day and it's a build up to it and it's so much anticipation. And then you get down there and it's just it's really good and I enjoy it. I've been to heaps of them now. I've been doing it for a long time. And the main things I'm after is The Simpsons. So if everyone's seen my channel, they know I love The Simpsons. That's what I'm all about. And but I branch off into other things too.
Yep.
Like from a young fella, I love Lego. I love all sorts of different toys. Like the Macca's toys and stuff like that, like fast food promotional toys. I really like that sort of stuff because that takes me back, all that sort of stuff. And then like I really like Fortnite too. So do a lot of Fortnite gaming. So then with Fortnite, I've started to collect some of the figurines and Fortnite cards and stuff like that. And then with cards also, I also do Pokemon. So I love Pokemon cards. That's sort of it's a bit of an issue now, Pokemon. So I've held off on that for a minute.
I'm not allowed to talk about Pokemon.
Dean loves Pokemon.
It's become quite a huge thing. So even to get cards anywhere, it's nearly impossible, you know. So when you can get them, they're worth a fortune. I got a few mates in the back door to sort of get me things, you know, sort of here and there. So that's good when I can get that happening. But yeah, that's the last Penrith Collector Con that we just went to. I was after die-cast cars. So that's the latest thing that I've been getting into also.
Yeah, no.
So with my son, my oldest boy, he's Declan. He's 16 now.
Yep.
So he's sort of getting to the age he's going to get his license soon and stuff like that. And he really loves his Japanese cars. And that sort of got me interested in the die-cast cars too, where he's gone for the Japanese ones and I'm looking for more the Aussie ones, sort of Holdens, and then ones from my memories, like my first car was a Toyota Celica. So, you know, that's one I had to get straight away. And then just all the Falcons and stuff like that, like some of the Aussie stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah,
sure, we're probably going to see some tonight.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I've got a lot more Simpsons stuff to show off, but yeah, I can grab some cars down and show them off too. So yeah. Yeah,
why not, man? Why not? We'll just have a quick hi to Phil. Treasure.
Hey, Phil.
G'day, Phil.
Thank you, Trigger.
And what is Ian here saying? Can't believe how huge Pokemon cards have grown. Not a fan myself, but good on everyone who collects them. And like Shane, you were saying that you can't get them anywhere. Like I know you were a Pokemon fan before the hype and the insanity that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. Is that frustrating for you? I know you're getting dribs and drabs, but is it frustrating just not to pick up a few packs when you want some?
Yeah, well, sort of when I started out my channel was sort of around 2017. I slowly got into Pokemon unboxings and stuff then. And you could get them everywhere, you know, like Big W, Kmart. But yeah, now it's almost impossible. Like even our local card stores in Penrith, he had to he did have 2 rows of Pokemon, and he's reduced that now to like 1 row of like standard cards that no one really wants to buy, you know. Like
there was a manager of a Toy Mate, our local. That Toy Mate's gone now, but through like the COVID period, she said to us that people were buying Pokemon then. And one of them, this lady admitted, like, you know, I used to be addicted to Pokies. Now I'm addicted to Pokemon. And they said that to me with a dead straight face. I'm there gagging, laughing. They were going in and spending a mozza on Pokemon cards. And this is like 21, early 21 before that, you know, second lockdown that happened.
Yeah, it's also like a gamble to then open them or to resell them, you know, because you could open them and have nothing. And resell them and get a better price, or open them and get the $500, $600 card.
Yeah,
and, you know.
Do they follow on from like the original stuff in the late 90s, or are they into the early 2000s, or are they a completely different thing now?
Yeah, they're still there, but it's branched off. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
We'll just
understand.
Dan.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. How are you, Dan?
Thanks for jumping.
Hey, Dan.
And he's saying it's nice to see Adam shirtless.
It's a very different color shirtless, mate. Let me tell you, very different. A lot fuzzier.
That's great. Sorry, Tubbsy, you had a question, mate?
I mean, as Ian said, all well and good for everyone who collects Pokemon. I don't understand it. All right. So it's not my thing. And that's cool. But is it the boom that's hit again recently? Is that because there's another line of cards or another line of something come out? Because I didn't notice at last Collector Con. There was a few people there, but like this time, the table across from where Ian and I normally are was 3 deep all day. It was just crazy, you know. And it just seems to have gone absolutely ballistic again in the last couple of months.
Yeah,
I could be
they've
wrong.
released a new set. They do it every couple of months. Like a big set will come out and like a big box set. Like a few months ago, they released 151, which was really popular. And then as you got right there, the 151s. And then like the new ones come out. I think it was what was it called? I think it was like Shimmering Skies or something like that. Was that it, Shaneco? What was the one that just came out with all the Eevees? What was that one?
Prismatic Evolutions.
Yeah, Prismatic Evolutions. That was massive because they had
That
hits.
popped off because there's the
Yeah.
Umbreon, and Umbreon's crazy card, and everyone wants it, sort of thing. So
that set, Shaneco, that you just showed us, there's potentially more value in never opening it and not knowing what's in there than there is if you were to snap every pack and potentially pull one $500 card out, right?
yeah, well,
yeah. Now I get the gambling
retail
side.
EB Games. I was lucky enough to get a pre-order for that one, $100. That afternoon, I could sell it for $250 straight away. That one. So.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's a good. That's quicker than gold in the stock market right now.
But
all I know is you're meant to catch them all. But we will move on to Adam.
Yeah, we'll go to Adam. Adam, first time on YouTube right here. First time live.
Yes. First
welcome
live.
to the
Thank you.
interwebs.
I expected it to be bigger. I used that joke before. I'm going to use it again.
So same question as the guys. Like, what do you look forward to at Collector Con, and what do you collect?
This con, it changes every con. I mean, I've always got like WWF Hasbro's on the mind, much like Crusher. Those are like sort of the primary focus. But then following that, it's Turtles and either an upgrade or an accessory or something. I've got a handful of figures that are in a list, which again, Crusher, Dean, you guys got me into the whole have a list, have a focus for the 12 months or whatever, and that keeps me sort of, instead of giving it, which I could go and look at this line, that line, this line, that line, and have a lot of different things. No, I'll try and just keep it focused. Granted, I look at a lot. So Turtles was a focus this year, this particular con rather, and again with Hasbro's sort of always floating near the top, and so always keeping an eye out for anything that my wife and I collect as well, like Darkwing Duck, Playmates Darkwing Duck. We've got quite a few. We're not close to complete. We've got a few really good figures, a couple of really good complete figures in Darkwing, and I had to think of the name now. Mega Vault, got him complete and working. Always sort of keeping an eye out for those sort of things. But this con was one that I have to be. We got there, we got on time, walked straight in, because we were aiming to get there, before 8. Didn't happen. I was sleeping. Didn't get the little ones ready. That was my fault. I'm like, yep. So absolutely have to own the responsibility of getting us there 10-ish minutes later. But didn't have to wait in line. Just walked straight in. So that was good. It was one of those events where, okay, and I'll go back on, and I'm not ripping on Owen here, but he was always the first place to go because you knew you were going to get Turtles, whether you got exactly the one you wanted or you have a list of them. You're probably going to get one of them at least. Easy. Yeah. Knowing he wasn't going to be there, it was like, and knowing he wasn't going to be there, it's like, where do you start? So it was that sort of anticipation of which hall do we start in. That was fun. Little, toy sweats, if you will, like the toy anxiety. But wandering through, we were focused for the short term, but for me it was legit just Turtles. Keep to the budget this time because I've blown that budget and just decimated it before, and I'm like, I got to stop doing
that. Dang. All right, Scotty, what about you, mate? How you been? Same question, mate.
I've been good. I still feel like Melbourne wasn't that long ago. I'm still on that post Melbourne sort of. I got stuff still in the collection room that hasn't found its home because I've not filmed it yet. What's that, mate?
I have a vaccination for that post Melbourne thing, just so you know.
and I mean the cons are just coming thick and fast. Like we came back from Melbourne within, what was it, maybe 6 weeks or 5 weeks, we had Collector Con, and then another month we've got another one, the next one up at Newcastle. For me, I don't know, man, I still get that, Shaneco referred to it like, the night before you pump the anticipation, but to me, I don't quite get it as much as when there were like 4 or 5 a year, and it was
Are you guys on multiple devices at the moment? Okay.
God.
Me?
I'll just mute you, Adam, while you. Yeah. Keep going,
Am
Scotty.
I echoey? Am I?
No. I think he was talking to the family.
Yeah, so when it was like 4 or 5 a year, it was big because it was like if Collecticon was a bust, it's going to be like another 3 months till the next one. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I love how frequently they are now, but my approach changes. I don't feel the need. If I pull my cash out, I don't feel like I've got to use it all. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It used to be my mindset at Collecticons used to be a little bit different. So that's that, and then I suppose this past Collecticon, it was awesome. I tempered my expectations a little bit because there were some of my favorite stalls that weren't going to be, or my favorite sellers that weren't going to be stalling out. Obviously, Tubbsy and Ian weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
But it was, Adam mentioned here for toys, but Minikins weren't there, and Carl from Retro Cartel Collectables wasn't there. So there was a lot of the sort of my favorite sellers that weren't there. But honestly, this time around, I still had a blast. Got there early. Got a bit of a social fix in line, which is always great. Like, Adam said, it's great to be able to rock up and just breeze straight in. That's cool, man. No one loves lines, but I like that morning part of collecting, hanging out in line for 30, 45 minutes because we're animals. And just, we can't help ourselves and just hang out and catch up. And what are we looking for? And what are we on the hunt for? And looking out for one another. We've got eyes for one another, which is awesome.
That is a big part of like hanging out in line because like most cons, once you go in and the crowd comes, we don't find each other for quite some time. So getting to catch up in that respect is good. Yeah, Matt's saying don't get burnout too early.
No. Look, maybe I didn't say it the right way. Definitely not burnout. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit different now because like there's so many cons, but I don't have unlimited display space, and I sure as heck don't have unlimited dollars to spend. So for me, I think I've only missed one Collecticon since it's been going. So I'm a staple there for sure. But I used to just film at every single one. Now I can't do that because I don't just want to make Collecticon videos and I don't edit super quickly. So yeah, but look, I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong. The show's obviously gone from strength to strength. They can absolutely easily fill that joint up with stalls and with punters without much trouble. Despite the fact that they're putting on more and more events and obviously branching into other categories as well, which is interesting. We talk about Pokemon. Like it's certainly, as Tubbsy said, it's not my thing, but I'll never, try to say you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, because I'm sure there's plenty of people that look at us and think, we buy vintage toys. What are we doing? Like, so, do your thing. I love it. You know what I mean? I think it's awesome that especially the younger generations are actually collecting something tangible. I'm all for it. As long as you're not being a dead set dickhead in shops and, like some of the behavior you see that goes that get shared on social media. As long as you're not doing that, I love it. I'm all for it. So yeah, anyway, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but mate, Collecticon's always a blast, and the last one was no exception. So
I'll just make note. Adam dropped out, so I'll see if he comes back in. But I might have to put Pokemon in the Fight Club category where you don't talk about.
Just do it.
But I don't want to miss anyone's comments on it. So Kiri's saying that Pokemon TCG Pocket app has introduced a new wave of collectors.
Yeah,
I'm not a Pokemon person either. Like I said, all I know is you got to catch them all.
That's it.
But I don't really know what that means, but
mate, the only pocket monsters I know are Monster in My Pocket, so
yeah. People probably think we're crazy collecting them.
Exactly.
One thing I do with it, though is when my kids were younger, my daughter had some Pokemon cards, my son had a whole heap of them. I have no idea where they are now. I probably was sitting on a gold mine, but no idea where they are. So
it's probably this shoebox just in the cupboard, quietly collecting dust.
I wish I had them now, but I have no idea where they are. But I just want to reflect on what Scott just said. That I'm a bit scared that there is 7 Collecticons this year. We've got what is it? March, April, May, back to back. I'm just a bit worried. Not just that. I mean, Collecticon's always fantastic. So no disrespect to Collecticon. It just seems to be so many now. Whereas when it was 4 a year, it was awesome. We've got 7 Collecticons. We've got Earthville. We've got others. We've got It just seems to be a lot.
The new one, Collector Fest, is starting up this year. So but it's you look at YouTubers in America and Europe and that, and I feel like they're at a different con every month.
Yeah.
One, I don't know where they get
Consider
the
the
money from.
difference. Sorry, I know I've left in Wi-Fi dropped out again. Don't know why.
No worries.
The difference population, right? The States have got how many more people? Roughly 10 times. I mean, it's probably like 8.5 or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
They've also got everything.
Yeah.
We got what? A third of every toy line if we're lucky. I mean, and that's even in modern days. So they've got way more modern stuff. Like even the modern reissue turtle stuff. They've got the ones where they shoot the piece out of their chest. They've got all the reissue shells, all the rest of it. We don't. They get all the NECA stuff. We don't.
Yeah.
They've got the volume of population and the volume of content, you know, to actually
Well,
do
I feel like Melbourne's like that too. Like Melbourne always seems to have like 3 or 4 cons in 1 month, and it's like you can never keep up with how many toy fairs they're having, how many cons there are. And it's just like, in Melbourne, would be broke.
The big one that you guys went super. It was super big, so whatever it was called. That was how many times? 300 is pretty much 350 is pretty 300 350 is standard Penrith. How much was at this?
It's about the same. It's about the same. But the thing is, it's all in one space, so it's kind of hard to judge.
Oh, yeah.
It's all in one open space. But the difference is, and again, I love Collector Con. I'll barely miss one. Love it. I think they're doing an outstanding job with it. But for me, in terms of what I collect, the thing I loved about the vintage and modern is it's a toy fair. You go there and it's a toy fair, and it's very different. If you have the same amount of tables, but it's toys with a heavy focus on vintage. And again, it all depends on what you collect as to whether you and what you find. Obviously, the social stuff is massive, but how you reflect on a con, on sort of a day at a con, is in large part driven by what you find.
One asterisk on one con, and it was maybe 2 years ago. There's a guy who sold a lot of vintage Aussie, like petrol station pump things and like vintage automotive stuff, and not necessarily just car parts, but like mobile signs. And the other one was Golden Fleece. And he had this. My grandparents had a petrol station. My mum grew up. The house was part of the servo. Blah blah blah. Found this piece of just sort of shop livery Golden Fleece Ram, which was cast iron and was like probably more to post it was than I paid for it. But my mum was like stoked with that. That was part of her childhood, and that was one of those fluke things that if Collector Con didn't have that. Diversity of 10% of and then 10% of cars and then 10% of cards, that we lose 30% of the tables, and we don't have quite the big event. But that sort of random thing that when I've this saying that my wife and I both believe, you don't find gifts for people, they find you, and that was one that found me. So that's the one like asterisk where I'm like, yes, I like those because I found something for my mum. And I could find something for an uncle, my dad, an aunt.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the difference. Though, like Collector Con has something for everybody. The vintage and modern toy fair is a toy fair, and sure they had a couple of comic sellers, a little bit of trading cards, but for the most part, you just see toys.
That'd be cool.
So again, it's what appeals to you. Someone who's into cards, comics, ephemera, that sort of stuff. They wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, but for me and what I collect, I really liked it. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Collector Con's still unmissable for me, for sure.
We'll just say hi to Dominique.
Hello, Dominique.
Hey, Dominic.
Yes. And I'll stay with a comment that he chucks in, and then we'll flick over to you, Skree, just to get your thoughts on your event. But Hot Wheels brought back Kit from Knight Rider in the 2002 mainline. Is that something you know about, Shaneco? Feels like you
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that something
one?
you
You had the original Knight Rider with Hasselhoff, and then you had two like that team Knight Rider that was rough.
There's a variant with one with flames, and then the evil version of Kit 2. There was a variant of that.
There was Kit in the car.
The steering wheel on that had like the notch down the top, like a parts. I can't imagine not being able to grab the top of the wheel and turn and sit there and you go, there's nothing there. You just got to pilot to steer that thing.
So Dominique's also saying they're making a 1/24 scale Herbie the Love Bug.
124 scale.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, nice.
There's a couple of car collectors in the chat then.
Yeah, they're here for you, Shaneco. Well, just a quick just around the room. What do you think? I wonder if Collector Con would ever consider doing a show in Melbourne, or the Vintage and Modern Toy Fair have a show in Sydney? Doing a crossover?
I think each of them would have to sacrifice an event in their respective state. Like Collector Con would have to can one of the events for the year, and then to make a shift. And the same thing, Melbourne would have to can one of theirs to bring it.
Yeah.
And isn't it just it's different promoter running an event? So you'd get all the people who are in New South Wales already would be at Collector Con, will just be under the banner of Melbourne Vintage, and vice versa. All the people.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly.
Under the Collector Con banner, just same thing, same event, different name.
Yeah, exactly.
Good answer, Adam. Good answer, mate.
I'll tell you another one.
Say hi to Brenton.
Brenton.
Hey, Brenton.
How you going, buddy?
Hey.
Welcome to the channel.
That's my son-in-law.
There you go.
He collects Pokemon. So yeah, and my daughter just sent me a message saying, what was it? I've literally never collected Pokemon cards. Don't lie.
Otherwise, don't tell them.
Called out.
You're being sensitive.
So apparently it was just my son that had heaps of bloody Pokemon cards. But yeah, I thought she's got some now. Her husband's got some. So
Yeah.
so, anyway,
Let's just go 2 words, Skree. How was your Collector Con?
It was good. It was good.
Mine was bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was good. No, really good. I enjoyed it. Like Scott said, I love the lineup. I love chatting in line and just, talking about stuff, and then people start chatting as well, and you find out what they're looking for. It's cool.
Yeah.
And Scott and I were there early too. Like I was afraid I got there too early, and I was like, oh. And then
I'm sure Andrew was still in front of you in line.
No, I'd be Andrew.
Yeah,
I'd be Andrew.
That's
Right?
an accomplishment.
That's next level.
That's saying something. That you were up well before the sun.
It wasn't long. Oh, I did because I drove from Newcastle to Sydney, so I had to get up before the sun.
Yeah, no,
But the Andrew was like, I think not even a few minutes after me, so I was like, good. That was good.
So what time did you have to leave, Skree?
5 o'clock.
Okay, well then roles are reversed the weekend up. Well, next weekend, not this
Yeah,
weekend.
exactly. I get to sleep in. Yeah.
I was
good.
complaining about a 5:30 leave, and I'm like, oh man.
I think to get to Newcastle, I've got to leave at 4 a.m. because I've got a table there.
You got to set up in the morning, don't you?
So you are setting up.
Oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure Ian will be with me, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But yeah, I've got tables there. So yeah.
When you set up at Penrith, do you guys set up everything and then sort of put the sheet over it, or do you just have to get the ability to set up your table and like any sort of stands, frames behind you, and then you load in product, for want of a better word, like in the morning of?
Yeah,
So
I get there. We get there. The tables are set up. I throw the tablecloths over it. We've got a stand that we just put up in behind it, like a 5 or 6 tier stand. And then we just unpack all the tubs and stuff, and then display it all. And at the end of the day, we throw it all back in the box and put it back in the car.
Off you go.
But
Well,
yeah,
just
usually it takes about 2 hours to set up.
All right, that's not bad. Minikins Collectables, a couple of gentlemen that always bring the goods to Collector Con. Unfortunately, they weren't there at the
They were a
March.
big miss, honestly. They were a big
Yeah, we were
miss.
just saying how much we were missing you guys.
So, yeah, hope you're doing well, fellas. Hope to see you very soon. Let's get straight into some pickups, and I'll start with Shaneco. Let's start with you, mate. And let's have a look at a few of the items that you picked up. Tell us a bit.
So maybe they're not all from the past Collector Con, but they're all definitely from Collector Con. So
That's all right. That's all right, mate.
One of my favorite pickups from Collector Con I've ever got sort of refers back to my childhood. I've got a picture here of when I was a young fella, and this was one of the first Bart Simpson toys that I ever had. So I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, the legit photo album. That's awesome.
Oh, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah, the teddy. That's cool.
The Simpsons doll. Look how big it is. Like
Is that
compared
one of the hard-headed ones? Like the whole body's plush, but the head's a lump of vinyl?
So that was me as a young fella, and like a Bart Simpson I had when I was young. But things happened, and a head got busted in, and it got wrecked and thrown in the bin. So here's like a really similar one that I was able to pick up from a Penrith Collector Con.
Yeah,
So
that's super cool.
Sort of one of my favorite pickups that I've ever got down there. So it's a 1990 Bart
So that's-
Simpson, and this one's a little bit different. It's got the pull string.
Okay.
It's a little bit broken, but
What's he saying?
he's got a few different ones. So he says, like Karumba, that eat my shorts.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think he's trying to say I love you there.
I love
I love
that.
you is a bit off brand for Bart Simpson.
Yeah, so that's probably easy one of my favorite pickups that I've ever got down there. It's not the nicest toy. It's not the cleanest. He's missing the shirt now, but it sort of tracks back to my childhood memories, you know. That's
Heck yeah,
definitely a cool
That's
pickup.
cool.
that's mad.
And then
Wicked, man.
here's one from the last Collector Con. So this is like a Homer head of radio.
Are those eyes right? Oh.
Yeah, so the eyes are the volume
Oh,
knob.
right.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And then it's got a little speaker underneath.
Wow.
And it's got like an on and off button here somewhere. But yeah, it's sort of just a nice bust that sits perfectly on the bookshelf sort of thing.
That's cool though.
That's
Yeah, and
sick.
it's one for the,
Yeah.
I think it's like 95 or 99. So it's quite early, you know. And these are the sort of things that I love to pick up where they display really well on the shelf, and it's a big item, and you walk in the room and like these things just pop out at you. So that's sort of what I'm after sometimes.
If you had a few beers and walked into the room and saw the eyes on that thing, you'd be like, right, what?
One other thing I'll show you is I've got a sick hooker from Dean.
Oh,
So I bumped into Dean at the last Penrith Collector Con, and he was nice enough to give me this little Marge book. And I've actually gone through my tubs and I found some other ones too to line it up with. There's a Ned one, and then the Mo one.
Yeah,
So
nice.
that's cool to add to the collection. So that's really cool.
do you
How
know
many
how
of those
many there are?
Oh no, I'm not completely sure how many there are,
Okay.
Yeah.
but I have seen quite a few pictures of them, sort of thing.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't have that one, mate.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that one. That was a sick hookup. And then that was another thing that you hooked me up, some giant playing cards from the Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're sick.
I like them.
Yeah, so there's a few of my pickups, you know. I've got a few more things here to show, but
Yeah, we'll let someone else go. I'll just catch up on the chat and we'll say hi to Dino. What's going on,
Hey,
big
Dino.
fella? Good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. I'll just make sure we haven't missed anyone else. Rudy,
Rudy?
how you going? Rudy says, "Hey guys, just an FYI, the owner of the Vintage and Modern Toy Fair, which is the Melbourne one, staggering a Melbourne-sized toy fair at Melbourne Showground on the 3rd of August this year, expecting 450 total. Dang.
Might
Wow.
have to get down there for that, honestly.
Yeah. That sounds
When's
like
that? When's that? August.
that's huge.
That's doable, man.
Yeah,
Like, look,
yeah.
Scotty and I got back from Melbourne and we were trying to plan. We can get in there Friday and out Sunday. Like, we can get in there Saturday and out Sunday. Bang. Straight. Let's go.
The old Jetstar flights used to get you in. You could get into late on a Friday night. You get the last one, you'd land you in Melbourne like 11 o'clock. And then you'd be at the last one out, which would get you back to Sydney at 11 o'clock. That's, Friday to Sunday. Used to, but nowadays, cancellations and stuff, who knows?
Dino, if we were to get down there, or if anyone, this is not exclusive to Dean, but if we were to get down there for this monster-sized toy fair, I think is what they're calling it, in August, like, you can do a day trip, but the problem is, I don't know that you can't get a flight that gets you there early enough to get through the door at the start of the event. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think because of curfew at Sydney Airport, you can't get a 5 a.m. flight that'll get you down there at 6:30. That'll get you to the showgrounds at sort of 7:30.
You'd be better off driving the day before.
That's true.
Staying somewhere whereas Melbourne Showgrounds in Flemington, I think. Yeah, staying in that area and just like dawdling over.
Because the thing is, like, I don't really, like, we don't necessarily need to go to the Lobos and all or we kind of were
Or
just
do
there.
we?
So it's just them. I'm just keen on
okay
the
there.
monster size toy.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we do, but
Yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, who's got the
All
plastic
right.
on the mind? Do we?
We could always do a trip.
how did you
Okay,
go, mate?
so
Did you score some goodies?
You guys saw what I got, but I've still got for everybody here. So I'll start with, it was all turtles, is what I got. So I started with, now this is not something that hasn't been shown on YouTube before, but Rat King. Oop, stay there.
Oh, he was complete Rat King.
It was complete, not mint anymore. This figure, like, there's just some of the best comments have been on like the Mutagen stream. It's like you wouldn't see a figure like this in modern day. Like you wouldn't see with a dead snake and a dead cat hanging from the front of him. You wouldn't see that in a modern toy. So that's one of the cool things about this. Like, let's be honest, he's got rats all over him. He's got a rat slingshot. Like RSPCA would be going berserk about this. It's even though it's a verminous creature and they're horrid, this is awesome. I got this through a disc full up front. Everything was from Uncle Tony B, who just honestly, that guy, full praise to him. He showed up with A+ game, not A game, A+. Like I don't think he could have brought more. He had Detolfs. He had these glass cabinets like on display. Like,
Oh, Tony B.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've just looked at him and gone, turtles. He's like, tubs over there. Sweet. Okay. He just wandered in. I had my little one Carmen holding one hand. I'm using the other one to rifle through. And I got this guy here for a really bloody good price. I was really chuffed. And he's just absolutely spectacular. Like, there's not a mark on him that didn't come with him, right? He's got a fairly scabby head. And this was like one of the first like bad guys I got as a kid. And so to replace that, because I flogged all of mine a few years ago and was happy to do it back then and then regret, it is what it is. But this was one that I really wanted to get like a good condition one because the one I had was like a $5 tub dive. Found him $5, had a belt. I don't think he had any other accessories at the time. But to get this for what I paid for it, I was really happy with the price. Numbers not too. I'll be civilized. No numbers mentioned. I was stoked with this, especially to have this, unbroken, crossbow and the little loose rat here to be attached and everything. That was like a good pickup. I was really chuffed about that because this is,
the one thing when you showed that, I always look because the one thing people don't notice when they do it is his little rat on his shoulder.
Oh, no. He's the loose. Yeah, this guy can come off. This fella here
can come off. And
the
it's
one under his
accessory, but it does come off. Yeah.
Yeah.
This under his jumper fella here, always been weirded out like why they didn't paint him white too. But like typical Playmates, you can't see it because
I think he's under the jumper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought as a kid. Yeah.
I
If
think
you look
just
really close, you can just like probably not in my camera, which is a bit, it's like a potato. You can just see the outline of the ears and the claws and stuff. So I don't know, is he under the jumper? Is he not? It still looks bloody cool. It's one of what, like 5 or 6 human characters in the entire line. You got Casey, April, Vern, Irma, and they're here 6, including Shredder and him, so 6 or 7.
Yeah, nice. Good pickup, buddy. Good pickup.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to chuck someone else on just randomly. Let's go. Boom.
Boom.
Just chucking you in there.
Just chuck me in there. I was like, I went with a mission with my Collector Con. I had 3 things I was searching for. I was searching for aliens that I was hoping to at least find one, and also Polly Pockets and VHS tapes.
Oh, yeah.
But I found a 1989 Polly Pocket High Street money box, complete. Well, near complete. It's near complete. It's missing the coin tray. So it's like a little coin tray that sits in the bottom.
So do you feel that's complete?
I feel like it's near complete because it's supposed to be a money box, so it's missing the actual coin tray.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I feel like
it's a play set and a cash and like a kid's money box.
So it's
That's
kids'
cool.
money box as well. So like you have all the accessories, which was one thing I was looking for. Because like Dean said, if I'm going to collect Polly Pockets, go the complete. Don't try and just get like half ones. And yeah, they had all the accessories in there. So they had like the Polly Pocket, Tiny Tina, and like Mr. Moneybags in his little car, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, so that was a score there. So that was a Polly Pocket score. So that was the one I found on the day. So I wasn't really.
Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. No,
Not from Borderlands, but yeah, but
no.
just,
Yeah. My daughter had Polly Pocket stuff, but I didn't really get into it. So
yeah, all the little characters got their own little names and stuff, and the little, so like they know which ones go with certain sets. And apparently, it's a big thing in the Polly Pocket community. Don't mix the sets; they get very angry. So yeah, that was my little.
Like, in the Polly Pocket community, or are they all color coded? Like each, like so that one would have whatever colors it's got, and the next set there, each figure's different colors.
There is in the early figures that have like the little base they stand on is color coded, can be color coded. So yeah, but yeah, that's my little vintage pickup. I did get more, but that's my one.
It's quite a large playset in your handbar.
This one is probably one of the larger ones, yeah. So yeah, because normally they're like in like little clamshell, almost like a makeup case. Well, that's where they originally came from. The idea came from a makeup little case thing.
I saw a fair few Polly Pockets. I wasn't looking at them, but like, were there a lot of complete ones there, and it was just a choice?
No, I saw a lot of incomplete. That's why it was hard to find a complete one.
Yeah,
there's a lot of incomplete, or I guess the ones that I did see complete were very, very high priced. Very high priced. So I was like, definitely stay away from that. But yeah, that's one of my little pickups.
Nice. All right, who's next?
Very cool.
Scotty.
I'll go next. I didn't pick up too much from this Collector Con. Everything I picked up was from Uncle T's Toys. Shout out Tony B. That's just the way it worked out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was sifting through every table through the joint that had vintage toys, but it just so happened that the only things I brought home with me were from Uncle T's, and I packed a couple of them away because
caveat on one of those.
Sorry, mate.
There's a caveat on one of those that you could have asked me about earlier in the day.
No, I know. If we get it around enough times, we'll circle back to that one. But because that's quite a funny story, especially seeing as you're on the stream. But yeah. So I think Adam made the point. Like Tony B for me, like Uncle T's Toys for me was always where I go to dig through tubs and sift through Lucy's and like not necessarily complete, but everything at a really good price and help fill gaps in my collection. But man, Tony B is like coming with a lot more high end stuff now, like box sealed stuff. Like it's really awesome to see.
Brave Star. Do you know how rare, expensive, and just cool that stuff is?
Fully. Yeah. So I mean. Yeah, Tony's crushing it, man. It's so good to see the evolution of his online brand and the his stalls at cons. Like he just brings it, but he's still got like all the cheapies. He had this mad $5 grab tub of just Lucy's that were really underpriced. Like I picked up a few little things there, Dino Riders figures, other little things. I packed them away because they're not complete. I'm not going to display them, but I couldn't leave them behind for $5. But I picked up a couple of other items that I'm definitely just stoked to show off. My big purchase for the day was this. So, I love, we're talking about Pokemon, pocket monsters, whatever. These are my pocket monsters, man. Like Monster in my pocket. Not only a really fun toy line that I was 6 years old, I was absolutely playing with them. But to me, it was the first thing that I had as a kid that wasn't a trading card that instilled a collector mindset in me as a kid. Like, Christmas and birthdays for me as a kid, I mean, for everybody, I suppose, came around once a year, and I wasn't getting toys outside of those. Action figures, that is. So, like, I never had the luxury of being able to collect action figures, but these blind boxes, so Monster in My Pocket came in little blister packs of 4, and then they came in, and they had some bigger sets, but then they had these ones here, and I got a couple of these as a kid. These are like basically an early days blind box. So you see the one high value 20. When I say high value, I don't mean in dollar value. I just mean in terms of the points assigned to it. I suppose they do. It does say they're rare, but yeah, you got your 25 point monster in the window there, but then you've got 11 others, if my maths is correct, in the box. And this is kind of cool because the box is in beautiful condition, super straight, but it's like the tape's broken. So I opened it up, but all the contents inside are sealed. It's actually kind of interesting. Like the different colors are all baggied up together. Like you've got a little baggie of, 3 green ones, 3 yellow ones, 3 red ones, and, or 2 red ones and whatever the other, and 3 purple ones, and you got this guy here. And now that I've got series 1 of these guys loose complete, I'm trying to find a Monster Mountain to display them in. But I was thinking about maybe chasing some of series 2, but I don't have any nostalgia for that. What I do have nostalgia for is picking these things up off the shelf. So I'm stoked to get like a nice, boxed version, because it's interesting. Like I'm absolutely a loose collector, but I find myself picking up more boxed and carded stuff as I evolve in sort of what I'm looking for, and really enjoying it. And it just displays so cool. So very, very happy with that. The other thing, I didn't pick it up at Collector Con, but the other thing I'm really trying to find for Monster in my pocket is the Howlers. Dino, I don't know if you remember these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if the battery's going on this. No.
I saw the eyes. The eyes are lit up.
Yeah, the sound is super faint. When I picked this up from Second Childhood Toys, the sound was beaming. Maybe I need to see if I can get a replacement battery in there. But there were 4 of these. So, and I'd love to get the other ones of that. But aside from that, yeah, always on the hunt now for like in package Monster in my pocket. So that was like my big purchase. And the thing I got to say is, like, I feel like I paid up for this, but Tony is such a good guy. He's been so good to us over the years in terms of like giving us stuff at silly prices, that to me, this was like an opportunity to buy like a higher value item from him. So that was like my main pickup. I got some other stuff, but I wanted to get to that one first. So shout out Tony B, man. The guy's an absolute champion.
Yeah. Question: were they made by Matchbox?
They were indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't quite read the label, but it looked like Matchbox.
Yep,
yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's quite funny because obviously when you think of Matchbox, you think of
cars,
little cars. But Matchbox did some mad toy lines. Like they did Monster in My Pocket, they did Ring Raiders, which I love. They even did the Max Effects Freddy Krueger doll that I reviewed on the channel, like on my channel, like last Halloween. So it's so funny, man. Like Matchbox is all about the cars, but they've also got some like sneaky good nostalgic toy properties as well.
Yeah, nice.
So with Monsters in My Pocket, I just noticed that you said Dan had the 25 point. So is each monster have its own kind of like power point, like for like battling, or is that a thing? Is that what it is?
So
that's cool.
Basically, you've got and I'm sure this continued in the later series. I can only speak to series 1. These came out in 1990, so I was 6 years old at the time. So yeah, all the monsters are individually numbered, like 1 to 48 in the set, but they also have a second number on them, which is like their power, their strength, whatever. So you had 25 points at the top and 5 points down the bottom. And I played with them like that as a kid. Like I'd pull them randomly out of a hat and have a little fight, and whoever had the higher points value won. And I don't know, so. But absolutely, it's interesting. Like I said, I couldn't really collect action figures, but I could absolutely try to piece together a set of them. And I never was able to, but I was able to finish that mission as an adult. So that was kind of fun.
I will be honest. I didn't know as an adult that had like battle points, and I remember messaging Scotty when I first had like a big haul of them. I'm like, all these numbers are the same. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're right. You're right, because the number on the back has like the power in it, but the number the number of the monster is on the foot, and it's really quite hard to read now.
Very hard to see.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
That's cool.
Sorry, just Adam, I did have to mute you because we were getting a bit of feedback, but jump in anytime, buddy. All right, Dubsy.
That's
show us that.
Yep, that's me.
Show us that gold.
The what?
The gold. You got, I don't know, you got like a gold idol or something?
You
do, don't you, bud?
Where are we? All right. So I didn't pick up a great deal this time.
That's what I tell my wife every time.
I did get a golden idol, just a tiny one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. So basically everything I picked up was Indiana Jones related. Tony B had already put a few things aside for me, which was fantastic. That I purchased. It was time to pick up. So one of them was this key ring. A bit hard to see, but anyway, it's a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It was a Hoyt's presentation item for the premiere, and to go into conjunction with it, it was that and the notebook that you could get from Hoyt's. So Tony B, I got that off him, and the book I picked up off Marketplace. So it's just a notepad in his journal. Nice. But yeah, those two went together. That come from Crystal Skull premiere, which was great. I picked up I mean, I've already got this one, but this is in much better condition on the card. The card's a lot straighter than my one, but yeah, that's the Matt Broom Indy with the Ark of the Covenant. So that one's going to go in the collection, and I'll sell on the other one that I've got, which has got not quite as good a card. But
So
always
see,
looking
the one you showed, is that Hasbro or is that another company?
Which one? Sorry, mate.
The Indiana Jones on card, is that a Hasbro product or who was the manufacturer?
Yeah, that's a Hasbro one. Yeah, that would come out in 2008.
Okay.
So the thing with indie toys is we only ever had 82. Then so it was Kenner 82. Then we had LJN in 83. Then nothing until 2008 when that line came out. Then nothing until 2023. So yeah, it can be rather hard to get some figures, and some of you are paying a lot of money. Will I remove it from the card? I've actually already got it loose, so I just wanted to have a carded version of that one as well. So that's such an iconic scene, even though in the map room they didn't have the Ark of the Covenant, and yeah, and Indy wasn't wearing that outfit when he had the Ark, but when he found the Ark, sorry. But yeah, it's just an iconic part of that movie, so I needed to have that on a nice card as well as loose. From Tony B, I picked up was a loose version which I already had, but I just can't let go of another Raiders figure. So that one's a complete Raiders figure with his guns in the bag.
Very nice.
Sealed. It was sealed. I opened it up though. The inside every one of those figures in 2008, apart from these deluxe kits, they all came with a top secret relic box. So inside one of these boxes had a relic of some sort.
I always wondered that.
It was 29 to collect from memory. It was 29 figures.
Are they like blind boxes, or you actually get something different?
You get something the same in every figure. So for instance, this Raiders came with the wall, a bit hard to say, but anyway, the wall decoration from the that had sorry about that, but yeah, hang on, I'll get it out. It from the wall decoration in the temple where he picked up the golden idol, so where the darts were flying out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Right, yeah. So every one of that particular figure came with that relic. So Elsa, for example, in Last Crusade, she had the fake Grail in the 3.75 inch version, but in the relic was a bigger version of the fake Grail. So yeah, I've got, I think there's only 2 now that I need for my set. So I've got 27 of them. I'm just looking for the other 2 to finish that off, which is an Anubis statue and something else that I can't remember. But anyway, doesn't really matter.
You're getting a lot of support to open it up.
I've already got that one. I'm not going to open that one up. Nick,
Brent,
you can settle down.
Should I open it or should I keep it sealed? Oh.
Hang on. This one, I've already opened it up. I already had it loose, but I've opened it up now. So you always need a second wall decoration. What else do we get? Pick these up from... Oh, sorry, and this from Tony B as well. This is a much better version of the Temple of Doom comic. So I picked that up from Tony as well. I already had it, but I'm always looking to upgrade because these are so scarce in between the releases. I picked up that one. The version that I had was a lot tattier, and so that's beautiful condition. So I kept that one.
Very nice.
Picked these up from Phil Taylor, just to go with the superpowers. I don't fully collect the superpowers. I didn't have a lot of them as a kid, but I do have Wonder Woman, and I do have Batman, Superman, all the regular ones. So I just needed the comics to go with those 2. So we had them at really good prices.
They're cool. I like them.
Yeah, so every one of those, I mean, it's the same comic as far as I'm aware, the Batman one. But yeah, it was...
Even that cover art just behind the figure would be awesome.
Yes, I got it for. Yeah, so in behind the figure or in front of the figure will be that particular card. Yeah, I mean, sorry.
Matt from Keep On Collecting is just asking, did you get the Tubbsy, did you get the last few indie figures they released a few years later? I think at San Diego Comic-Con.
That's one of the ones that I haven't got yet. It's the they call it the Lost Collection, and it's extremely expensive. It's 6 figures in the really nice, beautiful packaged look. But yeah, they're basically a carded figure. It comes first and only time that you could get Satipo, the guide at the start of Raiders. You could get Tot with the melty face, which wasn't released in the normal cards. There was Indy, Marion. There was a better version of Solar. I think that was it from memory. But yeah, that kit was San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. They're fetching big dollars at the moment, so I will hopefully get it one day. But yeah, it's out of my price range at the moment for 6 figures.
Nice.
It's not figures. It's a high price for 6 individual figures. Yeah.
Right. What about the ERTL items? Do you know what that means?
No.
Ertl's like a toy company.
And they made
They made the only thing I have in my collection that was Ertl was the Super Mario Brothers movie figures. Them. I think Ertl might have done some A-Team stuff or some Mr. T stuff just from the top
Did a lot
of
of die casts in the 80s. A lot of cars, a lot of movie vehicles, a lot of like the A-Team, like a small A-Team van, maybe not a DeLorean, but definitely like Ecto 1, scale stuff, like the 124 and stuff like that in die cast.
Yeah. And what about the 250 clearance range at JB? Did you go nuts? They were the 6-inch, were they? Or they the repros? The
6-inch and they had the 3 3/4 inch. They were all $6.
Retro, sorry.
I now have quite a few doubles of certain figures. For example, the reason that I have like 12 Donovans because they were originally $12 and then they dropped them down to $6. The reason I got them is because they didn't release any German bad guys. They didn't release any bad guys that were any ethnicity.
He just needs alternate head, and they all look like members of the Gestapo. It's fantastic.
He is actually wearing what looks like a German outfit, and from Syndicate Customs, I bought a couple of the head sculpts for Vogel's head.
Yep.
It's got 2 different outfits, so you can have him in his black suit or his grey suit in the tank. But with Donovan, he's an easy body. You can convert him into pretty much any other figure of the German persuasion. But they didn't release a mole around. They didn't release any thuggies. What's the end crap on about now?
Ian's saying you can't call yourself a real geek if you haven't got the San Diego Comic-Con variants.
Yeah, one day. My 50th birthday is coming up soon, Ian. I think that'd be a nice investment, mate.
That's an absolutely incredible present for it.
That Adventure Line series is confusing because they released Elsa and they released Marion in the first one, but they didn't release Willie Scott, who, like, as a character was more entertaining for me. Like, we were watching, Temple of Doom. She's the screaming damsel in distress. But they didn't make a figure of her, and it would have like fit with your indie girlfriend. But then they just bailed on her, probably because she was Spielberg's wife at some point.
She was Spielberg's wife after Temple of Doom. Yeah, they met on the set while filming, and then they got married afterwards. So, Kate Capshaw, they did not release a figure of Willie, unfortunately. So you're right. There's only 3 or 4 Raiders, Temple figures that they released in the 6-inch line, which is very unfortunate. I've got the custom head sculpt of Mola Ram with the headgear and everything to paint up one day. But again, it's hard to find a body to suit that particular one. So the only one I could find that was sort of half good enough would be Gore the God Killer from Marvel Legends. So you just take off Christian Bale's head and stick,
he's neutral, he's white, so you just he's already foundation. You just have to start picking your paints. That could work. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, it's just like Nick, hey buddy, thanks for joining us, mate.
Last question on that, Tubbsy.
Yeah.
Tubbs, what part of your collection is your first granddaughter getting as a first birthday present?
Right, so
Is
the
this
son-in-law now calling me Dubsy.
recorded?
Actually, I had already picked this out, and this was going to be. But thank you for bringing that up. This is going to be one of. I'm going up to meet my granddaughter. She's 2 months old on Friday.
Very nice.
going up
Congratulations.
next week. Thank you very much. So her first Indiana Jones figure will be a nice Raiders figure.
Has to be.
Has to be, and there will be other things as well, but that's going to be the first Raiders figure of hers.
Lovely. You're not going to engrave the back or anything?
No, I'm not sure yet. No, but she could. I mean, she is worthy of a tiny indie. So I've got multiple tiny indies. I can give her a reminiscent of the actual tiny indie Instagram.
That's awesome.
Right. So what else did we get? A friend of mine. This is not Collector Con, but a friend of mine sent these to me the other day. 3D printed signs.
Oh, they're cool.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're just like shelf talkers. They're fantastic. In 2 different sizes. This is the smaller one.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
pop that in front of the collection. And
I'd love to do that. I'd love to label all my shells. Like I always had this idea, and I used to pick up like just 1 pack of sealed cards, so I could just put that pack in front. But just room, man, room and availability.
So I've got a bit hard to see, but on the front of these, I've got the Raiders of the Lost Ark shelf talkers. They're a little hard because they like to try, because they're made from nice heavy duty cardstock. They tend to try and flatten out again. So it does take quite a while to get them to sit in the right spot.
Nice. All right, Tubbs.
Beautiful.
I might have a go.
What did you get?
I'm going to start by saying how amazing Uncle T's Tony B's store was again. I actually helped him set up for the convention, so got a little pre-look at everything that was there. And it was just, he came with so much quality for a person to wheel in 3 glass cabinets like Detolf's and just have all the high-end stuff in there. Like, people were just there all day enjoying it. But I actually found a couple of vintage 80s figures on cards, something that I said that I got in Melbourne and I'd never seen before, and that I ended up finding them at Collector Con. So picked up another Captain Powers, so Major Hawk Masterson, and added him into my collection. These guys have got the beautiful chrome of the 80s, early 90s. So really stoked to get on card Captain Powers. I don't know if you boys have all watched or at least heard of it, but it had a TV show. It was interactive with the toys using sort of the infrared lasers, sort of like your duck hunt zap gun. So every episode had this part where you could actually shoot the vehicles at the TV screen. Either you'd get him or you wouldn't. But
how did that work? Like, did the toy make a noise if you got it, or how did that work?
Yeah, I think the toy did make a noise. I've never done it. Fire at the TV targets, they actually fire back. Vehicles can also shoot light and score hits on each other.
Oh, that's sick.
It was actually one of the downfalls of this toy line was the cost of building those toys and getting them out.
Innovative though.
It is massively. But I got another one. So I actually found Lord Dredd on card. This is the only figure that I've ever bought, and I bought it from France years ago, that got lost in the mail from eBay. It just never turned up.
A carded version like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm talking maybe 10 years now. It was the only item from eBay that's ever just disappeared. So yeah,
that's probably
look at that chrome. I don't know. But like, you look at the quality, and I think like each of us have said it tonight that Tony is just bringing bigger and better vintage quality in toys. That's his focus. He had tubs of just turtles and other, like there was Dino Rider dinosaurs just in a tub, $5 each. No accessories, no nothing else with it. But where are you getting a Dino Rider dinosaur for $5? So whoever luckily scooped that up, good on them, because that
Yeah,
was just amazing.
I think it was his best stall yet. And like Adam made the point about detolfs, like it's pretty nuts. Like it's a next level of commitment and thought about your displayed like glass cabinets at a toy fair. It's just, yeah, I mean, Tony absolutely nailed it.
Yeah,
I hope he had a good day.
he did.
He had Cowboys of Moo Mesa, which I never saw as a
Yeah.
kid. I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing it on TV. I don't remember seeing the toys, none of it. I've seen them as an adult, and oh yeah, these are cool. And he just had them sitting there, and I was sort of like, I paused for a moment, and then I was about to I was going to ask, and I went, no, I'm not going to ask what their cost because I just
Somebody
thought,
bought
I
some,
don't
yeah?
sit there and like, you know, find a reason to spend that kind of money when I'm like, no, you're on a budget. Pull back. Pull back.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm with you, Adam. A couple of years ago, I would have just scooped them up, but I'm determined now not to, because I've been on the lookout for those for ages, and in Australia, you just never see them. So even on eBay in Australia, locally on eBay.
No, I genuinely have never seen. I don't remember seeing them on pegs. Don't remember the TV show because I was a TV kid after school. You know, knew the routine, knew what channels, knew all that sort of caper.
Didn't we all? That was awesome.
Yeah,
But
it's under my head. I can't remember it.
No,
You know, I can't remember the show from the 90s.
Yeah, it happens. But like what I was going to say was, it's not just what Tony brings; it's his generosity. Like the guy is just crazy. Like easy to talk to, easy to love. He's got time for everyone that comes up with him, and he does get bombarded. He stalls that good that there's a lot of people getting in there.
The man himself, like I said.
I'll also say the same about Adam, who gifted me a little turtle. So
let's see.
one of the little bootleg, I don't know what you call him, like little
grabber.
Little grabber.
Yeah.
But
Just in there. Look.
Just a little bootleg.
Yeah.
So I found
got the whole
a
set.
home for him, and I think I've got Mikey, maybe Don, and I found a home for him because if you put him in the vintage party wagon in the front seat, he just sits there and you can just see his head like that, and you'll be able to pour nicely in there, and it's just going to look great. So I'm going to make sure I've got them all now. So thank you, Adam, for that. Another small shout out to another gentleman in the group right now is Tubbsy for gifting me my first reaction turtle figure. I think my first reaction in the whole collection. So if you don't know, it's just a 5-point of articulation, little splinter there. But he comes with these little staff, these little bow staff, which is awesome. And these are cool. These are thick cardbacks. It's got the old school
Town had a ton of and they're not I can't guarantee what they've got, but they had tons of them on pegs. There's a lot of repeats of the same figure.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd seen them, and I mean, I was like, wait, what? And it might not be there now, but they did.
The biggest thing I love about it is this artwork.
The artwork's sick, yeah. It's got some sick artwork on it.
I think that really
hallmarks the Super 7. They really, whether you want to take them off card or not, if you don't, they look great. If you do, they still look great.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you this banger that I got again back at Uncle T's Toys, and it's one that I always wanted from Motu. Was Mosquito. So I don't know.
Does he work?
I don't know if you like those of you in the chat and that don't know. So this is a Motu character, Mosquito. The great and awesome thing about this character is because he's a mosquito, he has blood. So there's blood in his chest here, and it's real blood. Look, so you pump it.
Oh, it still works. That's awesome. That works really well.
So yeah, I've been having a ball. Like I filmed my Collector Con video, and I think I just said they're doing that. So yeah, props Tony. Let me grab that one. That
purple blaster he came with. That's the only accessory he had, I think.
It was just something that I just said to myself. I'm biting the bullet. I'm getting that. So yeah, they were a few of my pickups. I'll let you guys jump in if you've got another pickup that you want to show. I know Shaneco, you said you had a couple, and I got you right when you're drinking. Sorry, buddy.
That's all right. I got a few more.
But if you want to,
for the diecast guys, I'm just going to reach up here and get these and show off some diecasts.
Yeah, man.
So I'll give a little shout out to one of the stores at the Collector Con, the Southern Diecast. The bloke's name's Justin, and I've sort of had some dealings with him before, and he's a great guy. And here's one that I picked up off him. It's Hot Wheels RLC. So these things are, you can only get them off the Mattel website. They're sort of like mail away ones.
Oh, okay.
So it's really hard to see. It's a bit hard to
Hold your
see.
hand behind it, yeah.
It's the Toyota Supra.
There you
The
go.
paint on
Yeah.
that. Sick. Yeah.
They've got like an optichrome paint. It's like
Yeah.
Spectraflame, they call it. So yeah, these things are
That's tremendous detail for something, that size. Like, really, they went.
It is, yeah.
That's wicked,
Yeah,
man. It's beautifully painted too. Man. Like I haven't really played with Hot Wheels in a long time. I'm not saying that was a Hot Wheel, but yeah, the paint apps on them are incredible now.
Yeah, they've come a long way, yeah. And here's another one. So for the mainline set, there's particular cars that are called treasure hunts. And on the back of the card, there's got a little symbol where you can tell it's a treasure hunt. And this one is one of the super treasure hunts. And it's got a really similar paint job where it's got the Spectrafame paint.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's a little. That's
How do you know it's a
Is that
super
a Shadow
treasure?
1200?
Yeah, it is the 1200. So it's the Datsun Sunny Boy.
Yeah.
And we call it the 1200.
Sorry, Adam. I'm
No.
just going to miss you.
So it's a car you sort of would see get around Australia quite often, like back in the day,
Yeah. It was
But
a.
it's-
What's back in the day, but
oh, for me, like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's too easy, that one.
90s.
The
But yeah,
first
so to find the treasure hunt, it comes with a different paint job, and then it's got different wheels on it.
Yep.
And it's worth a lot more money. Yeah, so that's
yeah,
two
I
of the
want
diecast
1200.
pickups for the car guys.
Very cool.
Sick.
Very nice.
First
And
engine
then
I
one-
ever was a Datto 120Y engine.
And then so back to the Simpsons. This is one I got at the last Collector Con.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I think I showed Scotty when I seen him this one,
Oh, yeah,
but
nice.
this one is
Yeah,
awesome. We got
Treehouse of Horror.
yeah, that's right. There's the Treehouse of Horror ones. It's Homer,
Yeah, that's cool.
and Edna, and then Apu. So this one
Some
was
of
a
the
bargain. It's $60. I thought that was a steal, and then I was able to get him down another $10. That's what I like about the Collector Con too. Like
Yeah.
I'm always happy to haggle with everyone. Some people are not interested, but if there's sort of you get the idea, they might give you a few dollars off. I'm always keen to get a few bucks off these things. So
Yeah, man.
And to be honest,
$50.
speaking as a seller, always happy to. Everyone's always happy to negotiate. But in saying that, like some people come up and they'll go, "Oh, you got $20 on this? Will you do 5?" No, I won't.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I'll always try and throw out a respectable offer too.
Yeah.
And then like a combo deal is better too, where you get a few things.
I've said
What-
this in the comments section before, and I want to say, Tubbs, you were actually you were part of the stream. It's a marketplace. Make an offer that's make an offer, accept it,
Yeah.
don't accept it, and that goes both ways. And it shouldn't be like some people, you see them fire up, or they get a bit dark on it, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't try to make unreasonable offers. I try to make I know there's a limit, right?
Yeah.
You know, whatever the seller is paid to get it, they've paid that. They've got they've got to make money. That's why they're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand people firing up and getting angry, like,
Yeah, it's not the place for it.
you can't do that at Coles or Woolies. Why do you think you can be really unreasonable at
Yeah.
Collector Con,
So Shaneco, and I apologize to Dominic. I know you've been asking a lot of questions on the cars that I haven't been able to answer or get to, but Hot Wheels versus Transformer collaboration.
Love it.
I personally, I haven't seen it. So
That's what I did with the diecast. I tried to keep it a few niches, particular cars that I wanted to get, and movie cars was sort of one I wanted to get into. But then I actually figured out how many movie cars there are, and there's so many that I'll keep it to like just movies that I like, and movies that I'm interested in, sort of thing. But yeah, the Transformers was one that definitely had my eye. So there was sort of the Optimus Prime and then a Bumblebee, like a Volkswagen Bug version. So that's one that I snapped up straight away.
I think I got that one. Yeah, that's a sick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then underneath the car, it's sort of got Bumblebee's head on it too. So that's a cool little feature.
Yeah.
And then they
I remember
also
my sorry, go.
and they also did an RLC version. So it's like a full Spectra Flame, and it actually transforms into the robot version sort of thing.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's a really cool one to get. Yeah.
I was gonna say my introduction to Hot Wheels collecting was with the Barbie movie cars when they came out, and that was insane, man. The amount of people that were like digging for like treasure hunts and like looking for those Barbie cars. I think it's the pink Cadillac.
Yeah,
I think it is
the
man. It was a nightmare. I was like, I gotta get out of here because I'm gonna get like bashed or stabbed or something because there are people going crazy for them. And yeah, like Big W and Kmart, they do the big tubs with the big Hot Wheels. Man, they were getting destroyed, like ripped open and like Hot Wheels flying everywhere. I was like, okay, I'm not going near Hot Wheels. I'm done. I'm like, see ya. They do some cool crossovers.
I only bought one car in my whole collection. I got the Batman Forever car. That's it.
Nice. Oh, really? I collect some Hot Wheels. To be honest, I like the movie cars. Mainly, I collect the Batmobiles. So I don't care what type of Batmobile it is. 99% of my collection is the 60s TV show Batmobile, which is the second best. Oh, sorry, the best Batmobile. Yeah, apart from that, Batman Forever one, right?
Sorry, it's the Batman Forever one.
Yeah,
there it is.
Where am I? There we go.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
But then they're bringing out the Batmobile with orange flames, and then they're bringing out with blue flames, and then grey flames, and it, all in the same sort of
chrome one with the transporter.
Yeah,
Tubbsy, you got to catch them all up.
Yeah, true.
It works for more than Pokemon.
That's why I only do Batmobile. That and like I said, movie cars. The Indy cars that they brought out recently. There is one which is Matchbox, not Hot Wheels. But I wanted to get the Indy planes, and there's one that I haven't got. So if you guys see the Indy planes around, look, I'm looking for the Ford Tri-Motor.
That's right. They bred them tough, mate.
Sorry.
Anyone got anything
Matt
more
said something in chat.
I
I was saying Matt said something in chat about so
Matt was saying that's what happens when you live in a lawless coal town, Screw.
Yeah.
The only other things I forgot to mention earlier with the pickup was there's a guy there in Hall 3. Yeah, in Hall 3 that was selling laser discs. They're all mostly Japanese ones.
Oh, nice.
But he's had different prices for the last few months, whatever, a few times. But I picked up 2 this time. Last of the Mohicans. He had it for $25, but every laser disc he had was $5. So I was like, "Yep, I'll take that." Wow. And
just great display pieces.
Sorry,
just great display pieces.
Yeah, I don't have a laser display, so yeah, can't play it. But I could not pass this up. I picked up the doors on the Val Kilmer movie on Laserdisc for $5. It was originally $50, and yeah, unfortunately, it was only a matter of days later that Val Kilmer passed away. So yeah, very happy to get that. That movie, changed my teenage years. It was awesome.
Very nice.
It's a great pickup.
Did he give a reason why such a dramatic drop, or was he just getting out of it completely?
Just said, I want to get out of them. I've got so many of them, and he had a lot of really good titles, but yeah, I don't have a Laserdisc player, so I think I've got 8 now. So yeah.
Mate, that deal makes me wish I took the time to flick through them, because I've had a look before and I saw a lot of them were Japanese, and I should have gone and had another look last time.
I mean, to be honest, all these are Japanese, so they're all a Japanese release. I mean,
they still look brilliant.
Yeah, they do. They're just a great display piece. I can never play them, but I could not pass that up. Like I said, this movie, absolutely,
Oh, it's got just gatefold. That's mad.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's lovely.
But couldn't pass that up. Yeah,
very cool.
That's great. So I'm just conscious of time, guys. But if you want to show anything else.
Can I show one thing quickly, just because Adam mentioned it before, and he is on the stream. So Normally when we come to Collecticons, we'll bring stuff for other people or whatever, but I bought some Hasbro wrestling figures just before Christmas, and I bought a little lot of them. And among the lot that I got was a couple for Adam. It was a tag team called the Head Shrinkers, and I didn't have them, right? But I knew he needed them, and there was a bunch of other figures in this lot that I bought that I did need. So he got the Head Shrinkers, I got the others, and I brought them with me to Collecticon. But like I said, I'm still on the hunt for them. So I go over to Uncle T's and I see one of them. One of the same figures that I bought for Adam is this guy here. It's a WWF Hasbro wrestler, one part of a tag team called the Head Shrinkers. Some cool, I mean, not the most amazing like blow away figure, but again, I'm trying to complete the line. And this is in just beautiful condition. Joints are super tight. The play feature is god awful. Even as a kid, I hated these, but the spring action's really tight. All the little details, like the palm trees, perfect.
What was that?
What was the spring action for?
Yeah, I wanted to know that.
Jumping off the top rope.
So these in the collector community, in the Hasbro collectors, they're called jumpers. They've got the fused leg and this weird button on the back that you're supposed to use to like literally spring them off the top rope.
Oh, right. Yeah. That would work.
Even when I was 8 years old, I thought this was ridiculous. Like, as a kid, who actually launches their shit? Like, I was always like making them do somersaults and stuff just with my imagination. They never actually were thrown through the air. But anyways, I see this figure at Tony's. He gives it to me for a stupid price. He's just like, mate, here you go. And I said, oh, Adam, what are the odds, mate? I brought these figures for you. And I see one at Tony's, and Adam's like, yeah, I traded that to Tony. I didn't need one of the two tag teams.
I had already had Samu. I needed Fatu and Samu, and the guy was selling them as a pair, so bugger it, and I'll flip that one. And yeah.
So I bought from Tony a figure that I brought to the con and gave to Adam earlier that day because he only needed one of the two, and they're a tag team, so they were being sold as a pair. So.
The Circle of Toy Life.
The Circle of Toy Life. I thought, I mean, that's just a fun story. You know what I mean?
It is.
Interestingly, I had this figure as a kid. I got this on Christmas Day of 1993. There would have been names that were higher on the Christmas list, but Santa got me what he got me, and I was pretty stoked. And Samu and Fatu of the Head Shrinkers saw heavy play on Christmas of 1993. So always good to get, always good. Like when I'm probably 70% of the way through that line now. All the figures, there's about 100 in the line. I've got about 70, give or take. I think I'm into the 70s now, which is pretty cool. So there's very few easy figures to find. So anytime I can chip away and sort of, when you guys get late in a line, it's like anytime you find something, it's worth celebrating. Especially with a fun story involving Adam, and especially a figure that I had as a kid. So I had to give that a shout as well.
Were they all springy ones?
No.
No.
Oh, look, actually,
that tag team were, and the only thing was different was their head and their paint job. Like they both have their name on, like Samu Fatu on one, Samu on one, Fatu on the other, and their ankles are inverse paint Crusher.
Right.
Right.
Black and white, and then white and black.
Yeah,
right, okay.
I didn't know that. That's an interesting little detail. But Tubbsy, to answer your question, mate, all the Hasbros do have spring features. Like some of them do uppercuts, some of them do twisting clotheslines. It was just one of the marks of this Hasbro wrestling figure line, WWF line from 1990 to 1994. They all had spring-loaded play features. Some of them had spring-loaded play features that don't impede their sort of display ability. But for some reason, this one here, a bunch of the figures cop this feature. And, I don't know, sometimes it makes sense because some of these wrestlers their style was, they were the high flyers. It makes sense. Some of them are just really puzzling, like big giants that never left the ground that had this play feature. Hasbro made some strange
Brutus
choices.
the Barber Beefcake, whose finishing move was a sleeper hold, was a jumper.
Yeah.
Flying sleeper hold,
But, I can nitpick all I want as a collector, but as a kid, I just love that line. It's so special to me, So, I love it. So, always happy to pick. It's been ages since I picked up a Hasbro at Collector Con, so I was stoked with that.
That's awesome, Scotty. Sick story, mate.
Congrats, mate.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ian. This was a comment that came up a while ago. I wanted to get back to it and just check because we've got the man of the Snalian armies here, the Lord Commander.
So
Three.
yeah, so I was on a massive hunt for these for Snailians. I was like, because we discussed before, because the Snailians are really uncommon. So it's like you're gonna find them in like tubs and stuff like that. But I didn't find a Snailian, but I did find a Snailian armor. So I was pretty stoked to find Lincoln's armor. This is Lincoln's armor. So I have Lincoln loose.
Nice.
So that's Lincoln there. And then yeah, that's his little armor.
And for everyone in the chat that doesn't know, what's a Snailian?
I was
The Snailian is a supersonic shell fighter from Nao Francisco that are fighting the lunatics, the invasion of the lunatics. So I'll show you a lunatic.
I love
were they
names. Just chuck a whole bunch of cool names in front of it and go with
Yeah.
it.
So that's a lunatic. So it's a tick.
Did they have
Right.
a TV show, a video game? Because I had some of these as a kid, but I didn't know what they were based on.
So they had the whole hopes of being like a cartoon, but it was just a little comic book. That's what it was. And what is it? Eight action figures. So yeah, and they come with like little buddies as well. So that's Lincoln there and his little buddy.
So what's the buddy? Is it just a baby version?
So the buddy is the human snails. So these guys live in Snail Francisco, and the Snailians are like aliens. They come down to rescue them. But the reason why he's called Lincoln is because they were named after the American presidents, because the little Snailian dudes couldn't pronounce their alien name, so they gave them American president names. They got like Lincoln, you've got Washington, you've got like all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Who made it?
I can't remember the name of it. It's like a three letter word, like a name, like JPI or something, is it?
Oh,
LJN?
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 Yeah, it might be LJN. Yeah.
With the rainbow color?
No. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. But I'll have to get back to you on that one. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool little pickup. Just found the armor.
Excuse my ignorance. Were they snails or human? Because they got
So
arms and legs.
they're snails. Well, these
Snails.
technically are like aliens that are like
Right.
Snailians. Like, yeah, it was the 90s, I guess. Do you know?
Matt's saying literally, is it a little comic book? Like a Motu comic book?
Yeah. Like little tiny little. I've got one coming. I actually found one on eBay. Yeah, about that size. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And it's really cool. I can't wait to get it, because on the back of it, you've actually got vehicles that they were actually going to release, but they never did. So I was like, that's a bummer. But yeah.
And really important question: is there an orange Snailian called Trump?
Well, I've got enough of Lincoln. We might be able to customize one.
JPI.
Thank you, Matt. It was JPI.
I've not heard of
JPI.
JPI. I wonder what else they did.
So yeah, we might be able to do a custom one. But I'm taking a book from Ian's page. I'm collecting an army of them. I'm just doing like
There's
many,
a lot of
whatever I
to
can
make
find.
fun hair that he's got.
I'm just thinking, like, has anyone done a Snailian's little like book? Like, you could be
Like
the
a-
one to create a little
Like a collection book.
yeah, like here's all the Snailian stuff that was ever made.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That'd be
Or
pretty.
should I just?
I don't know anyone that collects Snailians besides you. It's a unique.
Never
line.
heard of them.
It's always fun to have a line that no one's
Mm.
digging into. Less competition anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Well, like we said, because like all these little bits and pieces, like the little buddies, they
Yeah.
could just be found in the bottom of a tub. You know what I mean? Like you don't even know what they are. And
I'll
that's-
find
that's
them.
very-
If they're in a
find
tub, I'll get them.
you do tub dive, yeah. But no, I was pretty stoked to find the armor. I was like, that's pretty cool. I'll grab that. I got that from where did I get that from?
Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor, that's right. Yeah, Phil Taylor. Because you saw it first, that's right.
Taylor's
So, yeah.
Toys and Treasures. Another
the one.
great vendor there who always brings beautiful Star Wars
Mm.
stuff and a whole lot of, like, he has a lot of good superpowers as well. Really nice and clean. I'm always tempted every time. Just one. If I just pick up one each time, I'll get there. All right, guys. So if no one's got any other pickups, we'll start the
I
right part.
got one.
Yeah,
I
he's
got
got.
Again,
He's got
all
a-
from
he's got a
Uncle
good
Tony
one.
B. This
Take it away, mate.
is just the Worm was again
That's
from the
pretty
Mutagens podcast. I want to say it was Dan who had one, and I saw him. I went, "That is just fantastic!" Like as far as One, articulation, the feature where the eyes bug out when you pull his head. He came absolutely complete. Tony did a deal, and he's got the little bag of worms, which I tried like hanging in his teeth because again, Dan said hang the worms in the teeth. Displays great. Could not do it. It just
Really?
every time I'm trying. I'm being careful, and maybe I had them around the wrong way. Don't know. I just went, you know what? Instead of these falling out of the detail, falling under the detail, and I'm like, nope, back in the little Sealy bag. In the turtles, like accessories tubs that, you know, they can't be held, they can't be put on like a holster or whatever. In the tub you go. Bags marked, sitting in the tub behind me. So this guy, Worm as a figure, like I'm talking turtles, the mutagen stuff. You guys have covered a lot of this great stuff, but the details on this era, when the Varna toy guys went, like they got carte blanche, just do what you want. They made it. And the detail from, you know, the toes coming through, the worm leg, and actually, you know, like all the sort of suction cuppy parts of his body that would, you know, allow traction. The fingers are all worms. Like, just the amount of detail they went into is really something that for the era, it's even more impressive because it was done by hand. Nowadays, it's 3D, it's probably a CAD print. You know, they digitally design. I'm not saying there's less art or less artistry required, but someone had to sit there and carve this bugger from nothing, a lump of wax picture, and then go that level. So there's, you know, a lot to be said for that era of, you know, toys. And while we're talking army builders, there's two that I army build. Both are from the Playmates world. One is the Radiation Ranger from the Toxic Crusaders line. I got about 4 down there. None of them are complete. Not even close. The other ones I get. And just before Collector Con, I got extra weapons to complete. So I've got two complete Triceratons. One's in that detail behind me there, and another one with weapons. I saw on Ed's Retro Geek Out, a guy had like a massive army of Triceratons. And it looked fantastic, but he said he'd gotten them from car boots. Like, some had horns completely broken off, some were missing tails. You know, some were complete, some were not. And he's gone, well, they're from a different world. They're all going to look different. They're all going to have battle scars. So it doesn't matter if they're missing, you know, got a scratch on their armor, because he validated and the reasoning was sound, right? You sit there and go, okay, well, yeah, they're warriors. That's what their people do. They fight. So they're all going to be scuffed up a bit different. Someone's going to be the pretty soldier who's never seen any battle. I went, that's awesome. I've only got 3, and I'm going to stick with 3 for now because they're Triceratons, right? So 3 will do. Yeah, nice. But the good thing is I can have, you know, fully armed with belt, no belt, you know, 2 guns, 1 gun, different gun, and they look good. And this is something that, you know, I'm sure you guys, you know, as you know, the more hardcore turtle collectors will see, like, again, the hand painted era, right? The work around the eyes is different from figure to figure. Like, it's a lighter sort of, for want of a better, like the black lining around, eyeliner, for want of a better word. It's different from Triceraton to Triceraton because it was hand painted, and, you know, well, they still are. So that difference, like, it gives it, again, that bit more like, oh, okay, cool, you can still keep lining them up. So right now it's 3. It'll stay that way for a while because Triceratons, just, they broke. A lot of them, like I said, their tails break off. People don't want them.
Yeah.
So if the tail isn't broken, it's a lot more expensive. So that's
I've got a spare broken tail one as well. So definitely does occur. Definitely. Really cool army builder, but Matt was just saying, I don't know how you pronounce it. That's not the one. That's the one. The army builds. What does the army build?
Ovions?
Ovions from Battlestar Galactica. Is that this little green creature with the?
Is that the green one with like the netting on it? That's a guess.
Yeah, I think because I've seen him pick it up every time.
Yeah, same. I don't know either.
But I love it. I love it. My army builder is actually the Kenner T1000, so I like to get that exoskeleton.
That would be fantastic. Just
the T800,
T800 or T1000?
T800, sorry. Yeah,
800 I like 1000 is Robert Patrick.
Yep. And then you could say Star Wars everything, because all you do is army build in Star Wars. But guys, I'm going to start to wrap it up here. Just wanted to yeah, I'm gonna say thank you. But first, for everyone in the chat that doesn't know about Collector Con, it goes to Penrith throughout the year. This is all in New South Wales, Australia. Goes up to Newcastle, which is the next convention, coming up in a couple of weeks. So the 27th of April, it's going to be up there. And it does one convention at the end of the year, which is at Campbelltown, where it sort of, I guess it sort of started. But I am gonna do that to you again. Sorry, mate. The baby's awake again. So if you can go there, it's more than just vintage toys, modern toys. You got cosplay events. There's a wrestling ring for those that's into that. They get like the wrestlers get in there. Pokemon tournaments, and I will say that March's convention was heavy on Pokemon. There were a lot of tables there doing Pokemon deals. A lot of people yelling and enjoying the atmosphere of opening blind packs. So we've all said it, each to their own. What you collect, and yeah, food trucks, Dungeons and Dragons there, and yeah, there's just heaps of cool collectors. And I personally have a quick chat with each and every collector that I'm looking at, because I do filming. I talk to them. I ask them if I can do some filming, go through their stuff, and yeah, just chat, make a bundle deal, ask for a little bit off. If they're all pretty happy to do it. Here's another vendor who's always there, and it's always great to have a chat with. So Deke from Freaky.
Shout out to Deke. I picked this up from Deke. Shout out.
Deke. I'm going to make you big one last time, Mr. Skree.
Oh.
And then I'll let you take us out, man.
Righto. So yeah, that was from Deke. Absolute legend. He knows me and Spawn, so yeah, so all good. Again, like Dean said, absolutely honored to be on this show with the legends. You guys here, like thanks for jumping on. It's been amazing as always. But if you are rewatching or in the chat, make sure to hit the like, leave a comment, even a cheeky little subscribe if you haven't. But be sure to go follow the guys here. So we've got Shaneco HD over on YouTube. We've got Tubbsy over on Facebook with Toy Box Collectables 2.0. We've got Adam Collects here on Instagram, Scott Crusher on YouTube, and also on Instagram as well. So make sure to go follow them. Also, follow this guy down here. See, last night we were talking about this. When you think about Dean's title, you forget it. But make sure to go follow Totally Taylor Retro Hunters on Instagram and on YouTube. I practiced that all day because we're saying that it was a tongue twister, but it kind of wasn't. But when you thought about it too much, it became a tongue twister. So it's like, wait. So yeah. But guys, it's been absolutely a blast. Everyone's been amazing. So many good stories about Collector Con. Cannot wait to see you in Newcastle or in Sydney again.
I'll flick it back up to you. Don't forget to check out Skree. Very heavy on Instagram. I love all his energy in his reels. So jump in there. Go check out Simpsons. Simpsons are awesome on Shaneco HD. He loves them.
For sure.
So, thank you, Scotty. Adam, first time on the show, first time doing lives. You're awesome, mate. Hope you had fun. Tubbsy, thank you as well.
Awesome.
Thank you to everyone in the chat from me too. So, going to sign off now, everyone. Have fun.
Have a great one. Take care.
See yous.